Okay, so I'm live. I'm back now. I'm back. Um, so I'll share the link with you all in a moment. So sorry for the network glitch. So please, okay, welcome back. Welcome back, everyone. Sorry for the network glitch earlier. So we'll roll in that part. Start with what you're comfortable with. So if you can use an Excel sheet, fine. If you can use a Google sheet, fine. If you can use some softwares, online softwares are available on Play Store or iTunes, they are fine. And if you cannot do that, just your notepad and your pen, start with that and get a data entry person or an accountant or someone, your account officer, you all can refer to later because you can easily lose your notepad, but you need something put on your budget. Okay, what I'll do, please. Yesterday, I promised to share a few things on the WhatsApp community, but no one asked me. But don't worry, I'll keep to my terms. So, on the WhatsApp community, I'll share with you school budget templates. Okay, school budget templates that you can easily that you can see and you can use, right? Now on your budget, what is called budget is that what you want to see. Okay. Now this is third term. For third term, right? Rent, how much is rent? Rent is annually, right? So if that rent is annual, you either decide to take the lump sum probably in first term or second term. So for some schools, they just take, let's say it is usually due in January or usually due in August, take out the lump sum at that time. But in terms of what's it called? In terms of budgeting, the budget should actually spread across the terms. Do you understand? The budget should actually spread out across the terms. There is an amount, like if your rent is 1.2 million naira, for example, it means every term there should be 400,000 naira that you're setting aside for your rent. So on your budget, you have your rent, you have salaries. Salaries, how much are you paying per month? And for this month now, you have April, May, sorry, May, June, July, August. Those are the months you have for third term. April is actually part of your second term. The plan for April should have been in the second term budget. So put the salaries, including your own salary. How much are you earning? Include it in the school resources, utilities, staff development. Please, staff development, there must be a particular percentage of your budget that is going for staff development. What that means is training, okay, training of your staff, continuous professional development. How much do you want to set aside for CPDs, right? Internal CPDs, in-house trainings, then conferences, workshops, seminars. There must be a particular budget to it. In fact, for our clients, for schools that are processing their academic accreditation, it is mandatory. It is mandatory that they set aside a particular percentage on their budget for staff development. And one thing that because in Cambridge it is important, staff development is very important. They love it when schools have up to like 10%. And it's really really helpful, but you don't need to start with 10% of your budget, please, if you're not at that yet. If it is 5%, if it is, put it. So if the entire budget for third term, maybe you need to understand your income. How much fees are you expecting in third term? Probably, let's say your school is 100,000 naira per child, and you have 100 students in the school. So times 100,000 naira. So I think you should be having 10. Sorry, if am I right with 10 million naira estimate? Yeah, I think I'm right with 10 million naira. You should be having 10 million naira. Do you have any external any other extra sources apart from tuition? You need to put it. Oh, we have this, we have that. Or if there are no external additional sources, it's fine. Let's just leave it at that. I'll teach you how to get other extra sources later. Okay, so do you still want to bootstrap? Are there some expenses in third term that requires you to bootstrap? I mean, raise funds from your personal pocket. So you need to identify the income. What's the expected for third term, and what are the expected expenses? I think that is simple to even very understand. What's your expected income? What's the expected expenses? And you need to have it. You need to know it. Just this night or till Monday, you can just put it expected income. How much am I expecting in third term? Expected expenses. What are the bills? And you need to see. Sometimes you would see that the expected expenses may outweigh the expected income, right? And at times it may balance, so you are able to see it right from time. And then, if let's say if your expected expenses, they are more than the expected income, you now need to ask yourself, are there some of those expenses that they are not priorities? Which ones can you prioritize? Which one are so important and are so busy, so you're able to plan? Because with budget, the essence of budgeting is to help you plan your finances, your financials, right? And I've explained that you need to know that some costs are subject to change. For instance, if your school uses international textbooks, or maybe Cambridge, Oda, Oxford, and all of those ones, it is always better to include textbooks, the textbooks you use in September, to include their cost in your total budget. The reason for that is by September, scarcity, price hike, and all of that usually happen. So if you cannot buy everything all at once, in fact, there are some invoices that we prepare in three different. There are some that are in three different phases, because books are now expensive for schools that are using Cambridge text. They are now expect they reviewed their prices recently, and it's far higher than last session. So you know that in between week 1 to week 2, we want to get this ones first, then this next, then this next. So make sure that, and you know it, that the cost for textbooks, they are not coming in now, right? You can bootstrap for it. You can raise the fund from the school income. In fact, something really worked for a particular client. What she did was, She got the books, right? By September, August, September, when parents are paying for textbook and all of that, she created a sub account, apart from the school main account, a sub account separately for textbooks. So once they are paying, she withdraws the money for textbook into that sub account. So that by the time it is April, May the following year, she just goes to that sub account again, you know, to fund textbooks and resources. So that way, she have reserved that source. So if you want, let's say if you have something like that, it means you just pull the fund from that sub account now to fund your school resources, the textbooks and all of that, so that your mind is at rest, your mind is at peace. It's not like you have copies for you have in year 5 you have 10 copies of Cambridge something something, and you don't have 5 copies, and you are searching for 5 copies all across Lagos, Nigeria, till wherever they said it has finished, it is out of stock till next year. Mm? So to avoid that, it's always important that you plan ahead. The essence of budgeting is to plan ahead. Get it right. It is not about now, it is about thinking ahead. What are the expected income? What are the expected expenses? Are we good to go? So I'll share a template that you all can easily put together for your school. Is that fine? Please use the chat section if you understand school budgeting. I mean, at least at the basics now, if we are good to go, so we can move on to pricing. Can move on to price. I want to make sure that we wrap up by 10. Use the chat section. Let me read from you. All right. So while waiting for your comments, let's go on to pricing. Let's go on to pricing. All right. So for pricing, the real essence why we're having this session on pricing is to let you know that um, there is something called overpricing, and there is underpricing, overcharging, undercharging, the same term, right? And as a school, you shouldn't be caught in that web. You shouldn't overprice. What overpricing could mean is that you're charging an amount that does not measure up to the value of what you're offering, of your value offer. Your fees do not measure up to your value offers. The implication of that is, after a while, if parents can get similar value, I mean, or same value or better value at lesser price elsewhere, they would rather look elsewhere in years to come. And before you know it, people will just say that school is big for nothing. They are just charging us so amount. We are not getting value for our money. That is overpricing. And to address that is to make sure that your value offer, your the quality of your service really measure up to your pricing. And for underpricing, what that means is that you are doing all that is possible to give value, but you are doing less to get value in return. You are putting in your best, bootstrapping, getting and all of that, getting support, doing things, making sure that the school environment is safe, teachers are well paid, students resources, you are getting the best resources for the students to learn, but you're not putting effort to ensure that you receive the value back from your customers, from parents. That is undercharging, right? And there are a lot of things that can happen in terms of pricing. I'll teach you how to do accurate pricing for your school fee, right? In fact, this is I was waiting to share with you, right? I've taught pricing over time. If you have been following me, I've taught how to calculate school fees over the time. And it is always simple, right? Just get it right. It is for you to calculate the cost. What is the cost of providing education in your school? When you say quality education, it's not the same quality everywhere, right? But for your own particular school, what does it cost to give a child education? From your rent to the salaries you want to pay your staff to all your variable cost and the fixed cost, everything, you put it down, right? And then you also look at, I always teach that you put a profit margin, right? If you've done, if as you are highlighting rent, this, that, I mean, your total cost that you have been putting together earlier. So it is safe to have 10%, 20% out of profit. That profit margin, you put it in your, it is your right. Okay, don't forget that I said you should earn salary. If the building is in your name, you should earn rent, right? And then your profit margin. Put your profit margin. When you add all of that, and then with miscellaneous and everything, make sure you have miscellaneous, because there are some costs that predict based on the present moment, but things can happen, and then so that you are not running a task like that, you can never tell parents come and pay, come and add to their fees during the term. It is not possible. So put the cost for all of those items and divide by the number of child in your school. And I always teach that if you want to run a low cost school, there are three models of school. Let me quickly explain for those who are meeting me for the first time. There is low cost school, there is medium cost, there is international schools. For low cost schools, the value offer is you want to provide quality education at very like at the most affordable rates. So the competition is on it being affordable, right? But in it being affordable, you must prioritize profitable and sustainable, because if it is affordable but not profitable, not sustainable, it will crash, right? So as you're saying, as you want it to be affordable, you must include profitability and sustainability in your plan. And I always teach, if it's a low cost school that you're having in mind, make sure you have a space for 200 students, 200 learners. That way, I am very sure that if you get your pricing right, you'll make your profit. You'll be able to provide quality education without you being cranky or depressed about the whole situation. But if it's a medium cost school, you can for a medium cost school you can work with 100 student population and you'll be smiling to the bank, right? And for international school as well, you can work with 100 students population. I mean, for primary, oh, for primary classes, it's always good like that. But for secondary, you will need additional number to cater for all the arms and everything. So now, in terms of pricing, if you need your school when you want to rent a facility for your school, if it's a low cost school, make sure you rent a place that can take up to 200 students. Even if I'm not saying you should have 200 students right now, but let it have space for 200 students, so that when you put in your marketing, your branding activities and everything, you fill up the space, you have the money. But if you want to run a local school and the space you are cannot take 100 students, and you want to charge them 30,000 naira, you want to charge them 50,000 naira, how do you want to survive that? I mean, how do you want the school to really thrive? Let's say you want to collect 50,000 naira from 50 children. How much is that? I think that should be giving us 2.5 million naira or something like that. So, what can you really do with 2.5 million naira per term? That's limiting, right? So, you need to make sure that you can help your schools to be sustainable, to be profitable. So, and for your profit margin, please, once it is middle of the term, when students go on midterm break, pam pam, go back to your account, to your record, because what I always teach is try as much as possible to earn money before midterm break. Yes, it is regardless of the structure of your school, either low cost, medium, or international. If it's middle cost school, it is expected that you are servicing monthly salary workers or something. So if you know that the parents in your school are salary earners, for example, like during this break you should have sent reminders about fees, your fee policy, by to yesterday, now April 25, for Lagos, for civil servants in Lagos. That is when 25th, if any Lagos civil servant does not pay you on 25th, between 23rd to 25th, know that your money is ot till next month. So um make sure you send reminders. By now you should be having at least deposit, maybe 50%, 60% deposit before Monday. So let's say by the end of April you should have had something, you should have collected something, part payment of the fees. And 1, 2, 3, 4 weeks into resumption, you should have your balance. By fourth week, you should have all your balance. That is if it is a medium cost school. If it is international school, of course, you have your fee policy. You have some fee policies are 100%, before some 60%, 80%, whatever percent that works for your customers and you is fine. But make sure that by week 4, you have 100% fees, except in some rare situations. Maybe a parent is having a particular challenge, family is having a particular challenge, and in that case, they sign an agreement on, okay, this is when we are looking forward to making payment, and then they put a date, you both sign, and the date should be date that does not exceed your midterm break, so that it is really it really makes sense for you as well, right? And if it's a low cost school, let's say the parents are not earning salaries, fine. Probably they are traders, they are this and that, but of course they have daily income. So you should have a structure in place that allows them to pay maybe weekly, so it's easy for them to make commitments. Even as a local school, what that means is that even before they resume, even if it is 10% of their fees, 20% of their fees as commitment fee, they should drop it. And week 1, week 2, week 3, let's say you agree on a flexible weekly payment. So spread 20% in 5 weeks. Week before resumption, week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4, week 5. So if they're paying 30,000 naira, 35,000 naira, and they are spreading it in 5 weeks, you know, it's fine. They are able to pay money week 4 to week 5. You're able to avoid your fees. So you have the money to, you have a budget. So you have money to put in all that is necessary. And even for a staff salary, you can fix the staff salary in the bank. Okay, so since this money actually coming between week 1 to week 4, and I still want to pay salary up to August, dear UBA, or dear FCMB, or dear Sterling Bank, owe this particular amount for so month, this so month, so month. Once it is the end of those months, they disburse to your staff account. So that way, the money is lifted away from the account balance, so that you are not seeing million. By the time it is July, July when schools do that medical party and everything, by that time you're already broke, and then August is still there. So you can reach an agreement with your financial service provider at the bank. Let them keep that money for you. I mean, the staff salary, let them take it away from your account, so they hold on to it while you see an account balance that you can really really spend. All right, so I haven't talked about that. Your low cost families spread their payments into weeks. It can work for them, but make sure it does not go beyond week 4, week 5. That way, you are able to have your money, you are able to run your school effectively. And for them, except in rare cases, maybe there is any family crisis that could lead to some financial issues, let them also sign an agreement. So by the time it is middle of the term, that your profit margin, let's say your expected income is 5 million naira. Let's say it's a local school, you're expecting 5 million naira. Your profit margin from that 5 million naira is 10%. That is 500,000 naira. That is minimum. You should actually have up to like 20%. But let's say you have 10%. That's 500,000 naira. Withdraw that 500,000 naira from your school account to your personal account. You can decide to eat shawarma, but most times, as entrepreneurs, we want to put money back into the business. But I always encourage my clients to also do something, just do something that makes you happy from that money. Don't just be so focused on the business. And yesterday I mentioned that we should prioritize our health. Please, let's go for comprehensive health checkups. As we are running this business, there are a lot of issues happening these days, and I see that it's mostly because we don't do checkups on time, and we don't do some health checkup on that money. And take care of your health, take care of yourself, make yourself happy, bounce back after the midterm break, and get things done. because that profit margin, I'm saying that because that profit margin is your money, is for you to enjoy, right? So it's for you to enjoy. Make sure you do that. If your total income is 10 million naira and you are expecting 10%, that means your profit margin is 1 million naira. Take that 1 million naira out. If it's 2 million naira that is yours, take it out by midterm break. See, if you are doing all this um you can put it in a saving somewhere. Maybe you add it up one term, second term, third, fantastic with it personally. You'll be happy, right? You'll be 2 million naira per term as a profit margin. You put it together, that is 6 million naira. So if you want, whatever thing you want to do with 6 million naira, probably getting another property, getting a new land, getting maybe changing your car or whatever thing you want to do with that 6 million naira, you'll be happy seeing yourself that you are. But if you are not taking out that profit margin or you are not charging the profit margin, you are not earning. You will not be happy in the business, and that's not what we want for you, right? So I will share a link with you. We have developed a tool for school owners on our website. It's available on our website, growthmasterglobalconsult.com, and it is accessible to everyone. You can use that tool to calculate your school fees. Don't worry, we won't see your details. We won't receive your details. Your data is protected. So it's just like a calculator. But um beyond what calculator will do for you, you have guide on, okay, rent, put the amount, this, put the amount. Then you get to where you now need to divide, put the total number of students. So you're able to have the accurate amount of what you are to charge your students. Now, ahead of September, it is possible that all these lessons that I'm sharing with you this night, by the time you calculate, you may see that you are undercharging or you are overcharging. Most times, schools realize that they are undercharging. So, how do you address issues? Probably you see that you should be charging 100,000 naira and you are charging 70,000 naira. So there's 30,000 naira that is making you feel strangled all the time. I remember there was a time one of our clients was like, this school is making profit. I'm not doing this and that. It's because parents are owing. And then the first thing we told the school said, okay, you know what? Just list your total income, right? Your total income. What is your total income? By the time the school listed the total income, they've given lots of discounts. Discount for this, discount for that, discount for A, discount for B, discount for C. By the time the total they reached, we reached the total figure of that total income. Should I tell you the truth? The total amount of salaries alone was about 400,000 naira higher than that total income. Staff salaries alone was higher than that total income. So he said, you see, even if all parents pay you this despite the discounts, there are debts. Even if there are no debts, from this, it is your account statement, your financials is showing you that even if all of them pay you this money on day one, you will still struggle in this business because the amount, number one, you have undercharged. Number two, you gave this discount indiscriminately. Please, if you want to give discount, number one, if it is your choice, if you want to, if you don't want to, I don't teach it, I don't preach it. But if you want to, make sure that you only give from your profit margin. If you give beyond your profit margin, the school will struggle. If your profit margin is 10%, that means you cannot give any child, maybe, oh, we have so challenge, or this and that. You cannot give them more than the 10%. If you give any child 20%, it means you will suffer for the money somewhere, or the business will suffer for it. So make sure that you do it right. Now, if you realize that you have been undercharging, how do you bridge the gap? That's the next question you need to ask yourself. How do we bridge the gap? Because you don't just give up that. Because the truth is, if you calculate and it's showing that there is a gap, it means it is not sustainable. It means probably somewhere you are still just struggling to put in the fund, and by the time that money is no longer there, the business will struggle, the business will suffer, and we don't want your business to school. That is why we are doing this. We are doing this because we don't schools won't fold up if they are happy, if they are profitable, they will not fold up. But if they are not happy, if they are not getting it right, they will eventually fold up, right? So bridge the gap, we'll get there. It may be that you may need some additional revenue models, you may need to adjust your fees. Each school serve different kind of customers. The different level of engagement you have with parents will determine how easy, how smooth it will be for you to review school fee prices. For a school that have good level of parental engagement, I mean a healthy one. I'm not saying parents are close to you, they are your friends. I'm not saying that. But I mean in a setting where parents, school and the parents, you're working in cooperation, you're working happily together, it's always easy to review prices. But if the school is having poor parent engagement with parents already, and there is review of prices, there will maybe crisis. There may be crisis, right? Now, first term is actually not a really a good time to review prices. I'm not saying it is not possible, right? Because in first term parents will pay stationery, uniform, textbook, all of those paparazzi stuff. Probably they will even pay for end of year party or Christmas party or whichever thing engagement you're having later in the year. So if they have those extra costs and you now suddenly add 30K to your tuition, it may not work fine if you don't have good structures in place in terms of parent engagement. It may not work fine, but if you have good structure in place, you can add it little by little. Maybe you have 10,000 naira, and by second term you had the remaining 20,000 naira, and everyone is fine. And your the goal is you want to retain your customers, but make sure, are you even targeting the right customers? Sometimes there are customers in your school who are not even supposed to be in your school. So if your goal is to retain those ones who are not even supposed to be there, that is a problem. That is a problem. So really look at it. How much are you supposed to charge? How much are you charging? Are you charging the accurate fees? If you are charging the accurate fees, fantastic. Just make sure you get all your money um, in at the right time. Now, either you will review prices, or if you want to review prices later, make sure you start with 100% fee payment compliance first. Achieve that, the amount you are collecting, collect it on time. When they are able to keep up with that, then you can start adding reviewing the prices later. All right, so let me quickly go to revenue models. Revenue models. Now, why we want to talk about this revenue model is, we don't schools that rely on what's it called, on tuition fees alone. It may be risky because one, economic inflation is there, things are changing, prices are changing, and if you are relying on tuition fee alone, if you're relying on tuition fee alone, how about if there is inflation or something, and you cannot go back to parents to say, come and add more money to your school fees, or the amount you paid is not meeting up with what we wanted, right? So I'll rush over, but just know that your school, there are a lot of things you can do. You can do after school programs, you can do some events of assistants. Don't worry, but let me just take you through it. Let me take you through it. After school programs, what that means is that you need to look at the environment where your school is, right? Look at the environment where your school is, and ask yourself, what are the needs in that environment, that you have the resources. Because one thing you need to know is, you have the building. Sometimes you just need one person who is an expert in the field. Maybe you have your school, probably you have a swimming, you have what's it called, swimming pool, you have a swimming trainer, you have a sports field, you have a sports trainer, you have this and that, but they just come in, you pay them salaries, they just do 1 day work or 2 days work in the week and they go, you pay them. How about if you structure a program that is beneficial for children within the environment? They don't need to be students in your school, and they come on weekends. For example, sports, Saturdays, 8 a.m. to 12 noon, right? You have the space, you have the professional. You just need to make sure that you make good arrangement for the children so they are safe. And then you charge you charge something that you can do your calculations the way you've done your tuition fee calculation, add the profit margin and everything, and run the program so that your space is not just there locked down on Saturday and nothing is happening and you're leaving money on the table. It could be financial literacy programs. It could be it could be some learning programs that are not really part of the core programs we do in schools. All the mathematics and English. Even the mathematics and English. Do you even know that you can set up literacy programs? Some programs around reading, literacy activities, or creative writing, or this and that. That parents, whoa, they'll be eager, they'll want it. Let's say you want to teach children creative writing in such way that they're able to write their stories, publish their books. And you put that together as an after school program. And parents, kids in your school community, they can enroll. Maybe it's a weekend program, or it's a late and evening class, or this and that. So that way you'll be able to maximize the space and the resources you have in your school, right? So why we are saying you should have an after school program, number one thing is it helps you to increase your revenue. Number two is it also helps the school to catch up on some skills that we are not able to capture within the 8 hours when students are in school, right? And we've seen it that it works, right? You just need to sit down, reflect. What are those resources that you have that you are underutilizing in terms of space and professionalism? And then you look at the environment. Do we have target audience for this? And that takes me to online classes, right? Now, we see people are setting up online schools. And you, as a school, you have the facility, you have the people, the professional. You just need to leverage technology to put your professionals, you know, on the board. Let them do something, and then you have your online school. How about apart from your physical school? Let me say the name of your school is ABC. You on the ABC school that is running program, the physical program is there. Then the ABC online school, what do you do? Just bring out your devices. Oh, Mr. A, you are very good at mathematics, English, and this and that. Create the scheme of work in line with UK, US, Canada. Those are your target audience. UK, US, Canada. And then, their own job is to like this time that I'm with you right now. This is the time that all of them they are working. For those ones who are teaching students in the US and Canada, they stay up at night. For those ones who are teaching students in the UK, they don't really have to stay up at night because we have just an hour. Sometimes we even have the same time together, but mostly we just have an hour difference, right? So how about you have that? How about applications now? Right now, part of the things that we are doing from our end is we are leveraging technology to help schools. So we'll be coming out with a lot of tools for you. Just stay prepared. And the truth is, some of these things as well, there are tools that you can create with your tech, little tech knowledge, and then there is an app. Your school there may be an application for your school on Play Store. Okay, ABC um school application, right? And on that application, students in your school, they have login details where they access recordings of their classes for free because they are your students, or probably you charge them lesser amounts. Probably they pay an amount that is very less, So their parents, they are able to sit during the weekend with their laptops or with their phones, their smartphones. They log in, they're able to watch, oh, this class, this session on now, this session on pronoun, this session on here, on water, this session on, they're able to review classroom activities again together. And for students who are not members of your school, you charge them higher amount. What you lesson is doing, you can do it. You just need little tech knowledge. It doesn't, it is, see, recently one of our team members is telling me that, do you know that we can create an app in just 20 to 30 minutes? I said, what are you saying? He said, yes, AI. That there is a way they can infuse everything. I said, okay, don't worry, we're going to do this. You know, so you just need to start thinking, what are those resources in terms of knowledge, in terms of facility that you have at the moment that you are underutilizing. School should not be about Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. and that is all. That shouldn't be the whole thing. Do more, diversify, have extra sources, alternative sources. When money is coming in from different sources, it won't be as if money stops from a particular source, you'll be broke, right? Then there can be holiday camps, beyond the regular summer camp, this is when you say summer classes in Nigeria, when we don't actually have summer. We don't have summer, but we say we have summer classes. Okay, so beyond the summer classes, why can't you put together a camping program for children? Okay, beyond your school, they don't have to be students in your school. You don't need to, in fact, they don't need to be students in your school. And one thing is, you do it well, they come back to your school, you're able to retain them if there's proximity in terms of location. The same thing with the after school program. Do it well in such ways that it adds to your brand. It adds to your brand. It doesn't take away, because if you don't do it well, it can take away from the brand. I mean, in terms of reputation. But do it well, it adds to your brand reputation. Okay, so for the holiday camp, why not put together a 3 days camp, a 4 days camp, and then probably the theme, the venue, the location, the activities, put everything together. It doesn't have to be all those 5 weeks, and in those 5 weeks summer class, you say they should come and learn. Some schools will list everything listable. Come and learn music, learn swimming, learn math, learn English, just anything. No, 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 no. Just create it. Find, this the theme for the event, as for the camp, few days, 3 days, 4 days, put together activities. You if they are of the age that you want to add sleepover routine to it, add it. If it doesn't need sleepover routine, the parents can bring them and drop them, people can drop. Put together a very fantastic extracurricular program where children can learn, where they can experience life as it is, because this may look, truth is, our children these days, they are no longer going out like we did during our own time. Do you understand? During when I was a child, you know, the environment, places where people can move around, like children can move around, go to places, go to family um places, go to functions. But these days, most of our children, they are locked inside the house. They only go to places where we are very careful about where they go, right? So why not put together something, um of course, with safety prioritized, that is very unique and useful for children, and the parents pay you for it. How about facility rentals? Now, if you have facility that can be used by other people, by third parties, and they don't affect your school routine, of course, you can rent your facility. You can make some spaces in your school available for rentals if you have that. Recently, there was something. A school has a good playground, cute, fine and cute playground. So I walked into the school and I saw this people, musician, they were recording music. So they use that as a location as part of their music video, right? So and then the school get the money. I hope you understand. So there are some parts of the school that you may not even think can bring you money, and let's say they want to shoot their music video just for a few hours, they do all of that, and then you get money for that day. It's an addition. It's a plus. That's what my coach used to say. Say it's a plus. It's not a minus. Teacher training services, or let me even say, let me tie this to consultancy as well. There are some veteran school leaders here, or some people may not even be veteran. I mean, they may not have really spent too many years in school leadership, but they have knowledge that they can share, that they can monetize. If you have knowledge that you can monetize, why not put it together? Why not put together programs that are useful for teachers or programs that are useful for school leaders? Maybe advisory sessions, maybe all of that. That can be monetized. They pay you for it. And you become a thought leader in that space, right? So beyond your school, you can become a thought leader in a particular niche. Bookshop, uniform sales. Now, you can start book sales. I sell books. I apart from this that I'm doing with you right now, I sell books. I have two businesses. Um, Growth Master Global Consults, which is an enterprise support organization for schools, and then I have Z Books and more. I sell books almost every day. I sell books, right? So you can start a book selling business. You have parents, you have audiences who may want to buy from you, those who within your location, and thank, thank God for technology now. You can sell to anywhere in the world, right? Within Nigeria and outside the shores of Nigeria. So you can, if you know a good source for uniform in terms of quality, that they can do quality and they can source uniform neatly and their prices are not, you know, cutting people's neck, why not liaise with them and then run uniform sales with them, right? And that'll be fine. Online courses, digital content, boarding, hostel facilities. Now, this boarding hostel facilities, if your school is in a location where parents need such facility, right? Maybe parents struggle with, maybe, let me use an instance. In Lagos now, there are some locations that parents need to leave home very early and come back really late at night. So how about you have you have facility? I mean, you create a cool place where students can stay after school. You know, after school they stay there, they do their homework, they change their uniform. If they are Muslims and they want to do madrasa, they have madrasa program, or there is a teacher who can help them with some evening lesson. They rest, they eat and rest. By the time it is 8 p.m. or 9 p.m., their parents can come and pick them up and they go to their homes. Because if you are in an environment where, let me say, 50% of parents in your school struggle with pick and drop, and you see that they are really struggling, it's not like they are making it up, and you have resources to put things together, put their children in a safe space before they come back to pick their kids later in the evening, why not do it? Okay, so tutorial classes, yes. Tutorials, hmm. You see, it's very, I smile because do you even know that there is a section of tutorial schools, what do they call it now, ATTS or something? Because I have a friend who owns a tutorial center and it's doing really fantastically well. So um you can set up tutorials. You know, you have teachers who are good with jam preparations, this and that. Why not do tutorials and 4 weeks program, 5 weeks program? You just need to sit with them and come up with the scheme. Because for me, I always love it when you are able to, don't just leave it to Mr. A. You can start this now, let's start, and there is no structure to it, there will be danger, right? Make sure you sit together and structure it and monitor it. The same way you structure and monitor your school, please. Every other program that you'll be doing, make sure you structure it and you monitor it closely. Let me just rush over. Yes, you can seek for grants. You can you can seek grants of extra funding. You can partner as or partner with um other programs. Uh, Please, there is an idea I have, and I'm still trying to fine tune it. I want to see how well it can work. And the idea is about partnerships with HMOs, health maintenance, what's it called? Health maintenance officials. these health insurance companies, there's this issue about schools, like you probably you charge parents for medicals, right? And then you say it's first aid or something. But can we really take it further? Like, some children don't have any HMO plan. They are not on any HMO plan. Their family is not on any HMO plan. Can schools start partnering with HMO to enroll families on their plan, or enroll just children in the school on their plan? So in case of emergencies, beyond the first aid treatment and all of those little treatments that really don't work sometimes, there is an insurance to take care of their health bills. I'm just thinking out loud. I still want to see how well it can work anyway. So we are wrapping up. I'll wrap up because I've explained how you have with the other slide. Just like I did earlier, I'll share my slide on the WhatsApp community so you can access it. You can share it with your friends, you can share it anywhere. One thing about us, I mean, as growth master, is we really don't use the same slide all the time. Like, as we have prepared this slide now, it is quite impossible for me to want to take this class again and use the same class. I will have had additional thoughts that I will have put together. So we are not scared. I'm saying this because we know people who go to WhatsApp group sharing. Some people documents together and sell. So that is the only time that I can really frown at it. But as far as you are sharing it free, I'm very okay with it. Okay, you are free to share the slide with your friends. Okay, so let me take your questions now. Thank you for staying up. Oh, I took your time this night. Sorry. So it's past 10 already. We took our time. Mm. Your questions, your observations, so we all can call this a day. Tomorrow is going to be the wrap up, and then we'll be talking about school growth. In fact, people went on the registration form. We had a lot of requests for that session of tomorrow, and I was wondering, school, is it because we said school growth? Okay, so we'll be doing that tomorrow anyway. So your questions. Please feel free to use the chat section to type in your question. Your comments. What do you understand? What do you is it that you did not understand? Let me know so that I can address it before we call it a night. Thank you, Mrs. Amina Ibrahim. She said, "Well done, ma'am." Thank you for being here with me. I love it. Yes, your comments, your questions, keep them rolling in. Keep them rolling in. Said that was cool. Okay, thank you. She said, "Well done, ma'am." Thank you. Um, we hope to get it right with our financials. We'll be doing a lot more. We'll be doing a lot more. In fact, earlier this week, I got that energy drive. I love exclusive sessions, not free sessions like this. I love it when we are in a room, a boardroom, and we are doing strategy. We are doing strategy. I love it. And when we were planning some programs for, when we were planning some programs for, okay, I will explain profit margin again. When we were planning some programs for school leaders, break even blueprint, all of that, we were only thinking about exclusive sessions. But earlier this week, something just said, you know what? This problem that you want to address, over 70% of school owners need it. And if you want to teach only the ones who can afford exclusive access, how about the thousands of other ones? Because in Nigeria right now, we have about 80,000 private schools. How about the rest of the number? If your mission is to help schools, what can you do? And yeah, I got an idea of what to do. And in some days' time, we'll be sharing our plan with you. And we are ready to help as much schools as possible. To become profitable and sustainable, we must all become profitable and sustainable. Okay, so let me go to the question. Profit margin. Now, profit margin is for schools that are running a business venture model. What that means is that I mentioned at the beginning of my session, and for anyone who have been following me in the past few years, that there are three models of school. A school can be a not for profit organization. There is no crime about that. The only crime will be if the school says they are not for profit, they are raising funds from third parties and they are spending that money. Like they are not using it to provide quality education. That's the only crime. But if it's an NGO, they are raising funds from external parties, grants, funds, donations, and all of that, and they are providing education. It may be they may be doing it at a very low discounted rate. I may share the example of a school in Abuja that does 100 naira a day school. So that means every child just pay 100 naira and they access education in the school. So they raise funds from family, friends, donations from grants, bodies, and all of that. So and then I said a school can be a social enterprise. For a social enterprise, they are entitled to generate profit. They can earn part of the profit, but they are not expected to spend all the profit because a social enterprise they will charge a little more money and then they'll raise funds from external bodies. They'll raise funds from through grants and all of that. And then there is business venture. So, but for business venture, which most of us claim that we are doing, but by the time we review accounts, it's like no, it's like charities. Okay, sorry. So we want to stop that. If a school is charity, let it be charity. Go out, do the charity. We'll support you. You'll be sustainable. We love it. If a school is social enterprise, will support you. You'll be fine. Be sustainable. Just be sustainable. Now, if it's a business venture, you are entitled to earn profit and you are entitled to spend your profits on yourself. Whatever thing you want to do with that profit, we don't want to care. We don't want to know. It is your entitlement. Okay. So when calculating your school fees, you are supposed, if a school is a business venture, you're supposed to add a particular percentage as your profit. So as you're putting rent, let's say rent is 2.5 million naira, salary per month is maybe 2 million naira per month, and maybe throughout the year you have 24 million naira. Utilities, maybe your utilities, your taxes, your if you are paying renewal dues for any accreditation, government approval, Cambridge, Cobis, ISEN, all of that, all your school association membership, something, something, all of that, they are supposed to be part of your tuition. Oh. They are supposed to be part of your tuition. Because when you are in such groups, you are not there for social purpose. Like if you don't have a school, you won't be there, right? You are there because they are like the learning and the quality control you have from there, they have impact on your school. So all your renewal dues from NAPS, for ISEN, for APEN should be part of your tuition. If you are COBIS, if you are seeking IB, whatever dues you are paying, it should be part of your tuition. So, and then your furniture, there is a way you calculate furniture. So add furniture to it. Now, for furniture, you are not using the furniture item for one session. So you make sure you spread it. You spread it across the session. So let's say the furniture cost is 50,000 naira and it has a lifespan of 3 years. Probably by fifth year, you must actually change it, whichever furniture it is. But at least let's say 3 years. Make sure you have something durable. So if that 50,000 naira divided into 3 years, then you have that amount for the year. But by the time you just calculate for the year first and then divide it for per term, divide it into three. Then I'll share with you a tool that can help you with that. So by the time what I'm saying is by the time you have now put all of that furniture, this and that, utilities, taxes, even if you want to give scholarship to some indigent children, you know, how many children can you take for scholarship? So put all of those costs, anything extra. You want to do some funky events for parents, maybe you want to be doing mommy's day out or this and that, put all of that money, put all of that cost, put it in the cost. Then now say miscellaneous, put another amount as miscellaneous. Now say profit margin, right? First, add all of those ones earlier. Maybe you have 100 million naira. You now see your profit margin is 10%. So if it's 10%, then it is 10% of 100 million naira. That is 10 million naira. So you put it, and then by you then do the total per year. What is the total per year? Now divide that total per term. What is the total per term? So that is the amount you charge each child, right? So that profit margin, it is yours, it is your right. So by the time it is midterm break, when we expect that you should have collected all your fees for the term, at least if you don't have it all, at least make sure you have had like 90% or thereabout. Now pull out that profit margin. That 10, that 10 million naira is for the whole year. So probably for the term is just 3 point, a bit less than 3.5 m. So take it out, that 3.5 m to your personal account. You can do whatever you want to do with it. You can save it up and do something for your a personal project. You can spend, you can buy shawarma, you can do parties. So it's your right. So what you are teaching is that if school owners are not don't have that money that they are pulling out to spend on their personal self that makes them happy, one will just be grumpy on the job, because you're not really seeing value for what you're doing. But let's say you're able to pull out money, and this year you're able to buy a property, maybe land or something. You're able to, in your personal name, or you're able to buy a car, you're able to do something for yourself, run a personal project. It makes you happy. You feel energized to do better next year because you believe that if you do better, you will also have higher profits. I hope that is clear now. Okay, so Mrs. Lima Jema, she said, I really appreciate this. Well done. Please say that or confirm if my explanation is clear now before we wrap up. Any other question? Any other question? Use the chat section. We are wrapping up. Thank you for staying up till this time. Thank you. So see you tomorrow for. Okay, thank you. Thank you. I've seen your comment. Thank you for staying up to this time. So see you tomorrow for the three. I'll share the tomorrow. Please interact with me in the WhatsApp community. If there is any promise, okay, this night I promise to share it too. Please, I'll share the slide and the tool that I said is available on our website for you to calculate your school fees. Okay, so I'll share that. So thank you and enjoy the rest of your evening. Good night.